Today's topic, objects which are available in the link queue, how to work like employee list or students. And you can see Rahul's details are printed on the screen. And then nothing will happen. Now, next thing is that employee ID 5 is Wasim and its detail is presented. Hello friends, welcome to Developers Tube channel. My name is Ismail Sadagar and today in this video, we will discuss about LINQ in C#. This is the part 3 of LINQ series. Before this, I have created 2 videos of the LINQ. First one is the introduction, and in the second one, we have discussed the methods available in LINQ. So you can go to my earlier videos and can watch the introduction and some available methods if you don't have knowledge. So let's go to today's topic. In this video, we'll discuss some remaining methods of the LINQ which are very much important. So those methods are FirstOrDefault, single, and SingleOrDefault. After that, we'll discuss LINQ in generic collection like list of employees. So in our previous video, we have only worked on the list of integer values, but today we will work on the real-time objects which are available in the LINQ. How to work like employee list or students, we are having real-time objects. So that we will cover in this video. So after creating that collection of the employees and department, we will see how to write the inner join query using LINQ and left join using LINQ. So let us go to our topic. List of employees. So first I will create one employee class in my project, and that employee class will contain employee ID, employee name, EMP, salary, and department ID. These will be the properties of the properties in the employee class. After that, I will create list of departments. So for that, I need department class objects. So my department class will contain department ID and department name properties. LINQ methods in details, and I will discuss the LINQ methods in detail. So LINQ is having first method. This method is used to retrieve the first element from the data source. If data source does not contain any element, then it will throw an exception. Here data source is the list of employees. It is a collection. Data source is a place from where we fetch the data. It gives the invalid operation exception if data source does not contain any element. So this first method will give invalid operation exception if there are no items present in the collection or the data source. First method is used to retrieve first element from the data source which satisfies the specified condition. So we can fetch only a first element without any condition and with the condition as well. Suppose we want to get the element which is having department ID equals to 1. So there are two, suppose the data source is having two such type of elements. So out of the two, it will retrieve the first one element. Next method is the FirstOrDefault method. It is used to retrieve the first element of the data source. It returns the default value if the data source does not contain any value. Or it is used to retrieve first element from the data source if it satisfies the specified condition, or it returns default value. It is used to overcome the invalid operation exception when data source is empty. Next method is single method. This method is used to retrieve the single element from the data source if it satisfies the condition. So here without any condition we cannot write the single, and it will throw an exception if there are more than one element. If data source does not contain any element or contains more than one element that satisfies the condition, then it will throw an exception. The exception is invalid operation exception. SingleOrDefault method. It is used to retrieve the single element from the data source when the condition is satisfied. It returns the default value if the data source does not contain any value. It is used to overcome the invalid operation exception when the data source is empty. It throws invalid operation exception when the data source contains more than one element satisfying the condition. So here, even if it is used to overcome the empty condition, means there are no elements in the data source, but if the data source will have more than one element, in that case, it also throws an exception. Now we'll see the practical code example in Visual Studio. So I will go to Visual Studio. You can see that I have created one project. Name of the project is LINQ Joins. In this project, I have created one department class and it is having properties, department ID and department name as I have told you earlier. Another class I'm having is employee.cs. So this is the name of the file and the class name is employee. It contains the properties in EMP ID, EMP name, EMP salary and department ID. So by using these two classes, department and employee list, I will create two collection, department list and employee list. Next class I'm having here is the program.cs file. The program.cs file contains two methods here. First one is print employee details. This method I am using for printing the employee details and I am having print list. So this will print the list of the employees on the console. So these are the two methods. Now I have some code here so that I will show you how we are going to work here. First, I will comment this because we'll use it later. So in the static void main or in the main method of the program, I have created the department list variable by using the list of department. I am creating this list of department and I am assigning here departments to department list here. So this list is having department ID 1 to 3 and also department names. I have given development, testing and research. Similarly, here I have created the list of the employees and I have assigned the employee object to these employee objects to this employee list. So here I have 8 employees and all the 8 employees are having their details. So it is having employee names like here Rahul, Shailesh, Sonali, and they are having department IDs and also employee salaries are there. So this is the employee list description. Now first we will discuss how to use the first method of the link queue. So I will comment this region. This I have created for explaining you the working of the first method. So here I have written the link queue query from EMP in employee list. Select EMP. This link queue, how to write the link queue query expression, I have explained in my previous video. So you can go there and you can watch that one, that video, so you'll understand. So I'm writing from EMP in employee list, select EMP. I'm selecting the employees from the employee list and then I'm calling the first method. So this first method will return the first element present in the employee list. So here it should return the Rahul. Here employee is Rahul, so Rahul's details should come. And after that, I am calling print employee details method and I'm giving here first employee. I will comment, will not comment here. I will run this. So on the screen, you can see that it is printing Rahul's details, employee name Rahul, employee ID 1 and employee salary 50,000. Now what I will do, next time I have to enter only one line and it will execute this one. So in the next line, what I am doing, I am here writing the same query for EMP and employee list select employee. Then to this first method, I am giving the condition here. This first method of link is having overloads, so more than one overload. The next overload takes the condition. So it is taking here, I am writing x such that x dot department ID equal to 2 means I am saying to the program that fetch the employee who is having the department ID 2. So here there are two employee IDs which is having department ID equals to 2 means the department is testing. So here John and Kelly, these are the two employees having department ID 2. So what will happen here? It will take the first item out of the two. So it should return the detail of the John. When I hit enter, you can see that it's fetching the details of John because it is the first element who's having department ID equals to 3 means department ID equals to 2. So here this detail is printed. The next line is this 2 we have seen. It is taking now here it will show the exception because I'm calling the first on this query and I'm putting the condition so that it should return 0 means that condition should not be satisfied. So here I'm telling that fetch an employee who is having employee ID EMP ID equal to 10, but in our list only 8 employees are there. Employee with employee ID 10 is not present here, so there are no element in the list. So what happened, this will throw an exception. So we will run and we'll see. You can see that It is directly crashing here and is showing system.invalid operation exception, and it is saying sequence contains no matching element. So this error single method gives when we use and there are no items. So this is about the first method. I will comment this and we'll see the first or default method. Now in the first line, what will happen? I am writing the same query from EMP in employee list, select EMP, and I am calling first or default. So here first item from the list, that is Rahul, will come on the screen. I will run and you can see Rahul's details are printed on the screen and then nothing will happen. Now next thing is that I will comment this one and comment this. In the next line, I am giving the condition fetch the element who's having fetch the employee who's having department ID equals to 3. So here with department ID 3, there are two employees, Wasim and Joy, but it will take the first one because we are using first or default method. So when I run this first or default, when I run this, Wasim's details will come there because Wasim is first. You can see Wasim's detail is present here. ID 5, salary 1 lakh. This will become in the next line. What I am doing, I am trying to fetch an element whose employee ID. I am trying to fetch an employee whose employee ID should be 10, but in the list there is no element with ID 10. So here, in earlier case, in case of first, exception was coming directly and program was crashing here only. What I am doing here, I am calling the first or default. So we know that first or default, what it do, it handles the null value condition, means exception. It handles the null reference exception. So here it should not crash here, and I'm calling print employee details method. So what will happen here? That particular default employee object will be sent here. It is checked here is if employee is not null. So here if it is null, then it will print the employee object is null. Now I will run this condition and see what happens. You can see the employee object is null. It is printing, means no exception has come here on this place. On this place. Earlier there was system crash was happening here when we were using first because it's not finding any item. So this was about first or default. Next method is single method. So in the single method, we have to specify a condition, and single method gives exception both times, means when it is having more than one items present in the collection satisfying the same condition, or there are no items. So what I will do here, I will run first this single and we'll see what happens. Employee ID 5 is Wasim and its detail is presented. So single item is coming because this condition, only one employee is satisfying this condition. So we saw the Wasim's details. Now in the next line, what we are doing here is I want to fetch a single item, a single employee who's having department ID 1. So we can see that there are more than one items having department ID 1, that is Rahul and Shailesh. So in case of single, it throws an exception, that is invalid operation exception. I will run and I will show you. So this is the difference between the first and single, that you can see invalid operation exception is coming. So in case of first, no exception comes for if the sequence contains more than one item, but in case of single, exception comes, as we have seen here. Now I will run this. You can see that it is giving error because single method is, there should be an item, at least one item should be there So here no item or no employee is satisfying the condition EMP equal to EMP ID equal to 10. So it is throwing an exception. So this exception is handled in single or default method. In case of single, it gives an error or throws an exception. This was about single method. Now, next one is single or default. We'll uncomment this. So you can see that in case of single or default, we are getting exception because here there is no condition, means we are only fetching employees, and in the result there are 8 employees are coming, but there should be only one employee that should satisfy the condition. So here also it is saying sequence contains more than one element, system dot invalid operation exception. So you can keep in mind that single or default does not handle sequence contains more than one element exception. It only handles the null reference, means null value exception. If the sequence returns no any value, so in that case default value is returned back. That exception is handled by single or default, but not the more than one, except more than one items if present. In the next condition we are writing, we are calling single or default on employee list. This query is similar till here. After that I'm calling single or default and trying to fetch an item which is having department ID equal to 1. So you can see here 2 employees are having department ID 1. So sequence is returning more than one item. So here also it is giving error sequence contains more than one matching item. So this is also not handled in case of single or default. Now I will comment this one. Now in the next line, what I am doing here, I am calling single or default method, and I am giving a condition x such that x dot emp id equal to 7. So there is only one employee which is having employee ID 7 in the employee list. If I go to the employee list, we can see that emp ID 7 is J. So it should return J. I will run this, and you can see that on the screen J's detail is present, ID 7, name J, and salary is 1,20,000. So this is about the single or default method of the link queue. Now we will discuss about inner join using link queue on different data sets, or so different data source or different collections. So this is my code. Here we will first discuss the link queue query for inner join. So first I want to take the data from employee list. So I'm writing from EMP in employee list. Till here the query is similar everywhere. Now after that, for joining this employee list with department list, we use the join keyword. So after this, from EMP in employee list, we write join. Then this part is similar for this one. We are writing DEPT in department list. So we have joined two collections or data source here, employee list and department list. After that, we write the condition. So for beginning the condition, we have to write on keyword. In link queue, on is used, and if you have knowledge of SQL Server, that in that also for inner join, on keyword is used for before writing the condition. So we are writing the condition on two properties, or in case of database table, we say two columns. So emp.department ID equals dept.department ID. So we are saying that to the program that please fetch the data where in both the data sets, the department ID of this employee list should be equal to department ID of this department list. So if it satisfies the condition, then please fetch the data. We are saying, and we are creating one custom object. We are giving the employee name. So this we have given on time employee name equals to, and we are putting this EMP name into employee name, EMP salary into employee salary, and dept.department to employee department, and returning here. So this is the INenumerable we are returning here. And after that, we are calling print list, and we are giving the INenumerable of this object, this new object, to this print list method. So print list method will print records present in the similar records variable. When I run this, and the inner join only returns the matching records from both the table or from both the collection. So you can see that it is having 6 records: Rahul, Shailesh, John, Kelly, Wasim, and Joy. And the department detail is also here. The department names are development for about to, then testing, then research. And even if it is having 8 records in the employee list, but that is not satisfying the condition, because department ID with 7 and department IDs for the remaining 2 is not present in the department collection here, list department list collection. 10 and 20 is not present. So these 2 records are not coming in the inner join link query. That is J and Sonali not coming. For your confirmation, I will run it again. And you can see that J and Sonali is not present here. These 6 records are present. Now we will see the left outer join. So what is left outer join? So when we say left outer join or left join in link queue, so in the condition, on the condition, if what happens in the left outer join, it fetches the matching record from both the table, like we have fetched in the inner join, matching record from both the table, but unmatching record from left hand side of the table. Left hand side means the table or the list or the collection which is present on the left side of the condition. Like here we have done emp.department id equals dept.department id. So in this query, EMP, this employee list, this EMP is referring to employee list. It is at left side of this condition here equals. So it is at left side. So unmatching record from the left hand side the table or collection will be fetched. So first matching record will be fetched, then unmatching record will be fetched. So here I will comment this left join query. And one more thing is here. Till here the query is same on emp.department id equals to dept.department id. After that, the change is that we use into keyword and we give any variable name. Here I have given GJ. And at last what we do, we write one more query for selecting this one from subgroup. So subgroup is the keyword or variable which we are giving for accessing the particular collection. Like here we do, we use EMP in employee list. Similarly, we are doing from subgroup in GJ dot default if empty. So we are saying that if any record in the GJ is empty, so we are calling default if empty method. So this method is used in case of using left outer join or left join in query. So here the 2 records which are not having the matching department ID, so they will have the empty in place of the department name. So I will run this and I'll show you the result. So this is the print list I'm calling here. When I run this one, what will happen? You can see that first 6 matching records are coming: Rahul, Shailesh, John, Kelly, Wasim, Joy, till here, and they are having the department names: research, testing, development. But the last 2 record means that records from unmatching record from the left hand side table. So from left hand side employee is there, so J and Sonali's records are coming, but development is not matching with any department ID. So here empty value is coming, means there is no record for the development here for J and Sonali. So this is about the left join in the link queue. So today we have covered link queue methods. So today we have covered link queue methods, and in that we seen first method, first or default, single or default. And after that we see the link queue generic collection, inner join, then right outer join we have not seen, because if we reverse the condition it becomes, we can refer it as a right outer join, and we have seen the left outer join. And we seen all these things by using the example, practical example in Visual Studio. Our next topic will be exception handling in C#, or maybe some more detailed topic related to link queue that is not confirmed yet. And also I have given the playlist link in the description of this video, so you can go to the playlist link and can watch the more videos related to the C#. At last, I want to say that thank you, and please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Bye. Hello friends. In today's video, I did 2 mistakes. Number one is that I told that SingleOrDefault does not handle null reference exception. So the term null reference I should not use there. SingleOrDefault does not handle invalid operation exception when the returning collection has more than one elements or more than one records in it. So it does not handle invalid operation exception in this case. Another mistake which I did in the video is at the last output screen I have told that I have told the development instead of the department. It should be department name which I should say on the output screen. So that these was the two mistakes. Thank you.